Okay, good morning everybody, welcome to the sixth of these conferences, which is a particular milestone because in the late 20s and 30s, I think the Royal Asiatic Society organised a series of conferences about Sir Richard Burton, and they had 5 of them, and then the war intervened, but we have reached 6 and we haven't had any wars yet, at least not here. All right, I don't want to speak too much. My name is Mick Walton, for those of you who don't know me, and in fact my name is still Mick Walton for those of you who do know me. The moderator for the first session is Alison Dingle, and I will pass you over to her.
Hello everyone, it's really nice to welcome people here today. It's really nice to welcome people here today, and just like to say, I sort of endorse what Mick said about how much we're going to have a really enjoyable and interesting day, and thank you very much for coming. The first person that we'd like to welcome today comes from our host organisation, the Diplomatische Akademie. So Wolfgang, Jung, please, you're very welcome to give us some information about the history of the place and about the wonderful city that we're in. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. As I met Mick Walton, we got into talking, and I told him about our premises, and he thought it was quite nice to know which building you're in, the history, and also about our organization, which is not so well known. This building is called the Favorite. It was the favorite residency of the Austrian emperors in summertime. In winter they were in the Hofburg, in the city behind the walls, but in summertime when it got hot, even then it was warm in summer, they wanted to go out on the countryside. Yes, countryside, because Vienna this time was surrounded by small villages, and so this was very green surrounding. They made this building smaller then, but with a park. And with a growing city, people started to building more houses, and these small villages grew, and they went too close to the residency. So they used Schönbrunn and Maria Theresia enhanced the building as a future summer residency. To live there, I mean, it's much more green and much more away of the lower population. That's also the reason why you see the Wien-Zeile, the Wien-Fluss, where you have Naschmarkt and so on. This is the direct way from the Hofburg to Schönbrunn. Twice a year, the whole court was moving, and all the people living there were keen to present themselves in the houses in a very good condition to the empress. So you have a very nice architecture along this Wien River. But when she moved to Schönbrunn, this building was empty, and at this time she founded 3 trusts. First she found the Theresianum. It was a high school for nobility pupils. Later on to be civil servants. She founded the Military Academy in Wiener Neustadt, and she founded the Diplomatic Academy. It was founded as Oriental language institutions, because then at her time, or at the earlier time, in Europe, every king, every emperor was more or less a relative of each other's. They had the policy of weddings, and so you could send, if you had any issues with another European neighbor, you would send a relative to talk it out. This was not anymore possible with the Ottoman Empire, so there were invasions, there were skirmishes all along the border in the Balkans and on, and so they needed relatable translators to have diplomatic embassies there. And because the ambassadors were still nobility, but they were not so informed about the language with their counterpart. Second reason was also that the trade was initiated also with the Ottoman Empire, so the necessary to put it on a professional basis to do all the trade agreements. It was necessary to have not an institutionalized ambassadorship. So these are the reasons. They started it as a language school for young pupils about the age of the youngest was 8 years old, so 8 to 12 years old. They started to train an intensive program in Osmanic language, Turkish, even Farsi. That's the reason also why we have in a sigil some Farsi inscriptions for God and the king, the emperor. And yeah, they were trained, and also, of course, some other diplomatic skills like fencing, horse riding, and so on, which was necessary at this time. Among the important thing is the Theresianum, the high school, was only for nobility, but here also non-noble pupils were chosen, the best suited ones, and they were also able to make a career. Some were ennobled, even became the foreign minister of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, and one of them is also outstanding. It's Joseph Hammer-Burgstall. He lived nearly at the same time as Richard Burton. He was born in 1774, so we have next year 250-year birthday of Hammer-Burgstall. And he died in 1856, so when Richard Burton was 35 years old. I don't know if they ever met, but Hammer-Burgstall founded the Austrian Academy of Science, and he was a leading Osmanic scientist and Orientalist. So it's also quite and then he was nobled finally. Today's institution was founded in 1964. There was Consular Akademie. You have a uniform of the civil servants, of the ongoing civil servants for the foreign ministry of the Austrian Empire. But then during the wars, the academy was closed during First and Second World War, and was refounded in 1964 by then Foreign Minister, later Chancellor Bruno Kreisky. He was from the People's Party, Socialist People's Party, and he went to the Foreign Ministry, and there were still many noble families traditioning their profession to their sons. And so there were mostly bourgeoisie and no socialist comrades. So he invented an exam equal to everybody. If you want to enter the foreign ministry, you have to pass this exam till today. And to make it, to level the conditions for everybody, he founded our institution, the Diplomatic Academy in Vienna, to train young people for the Austrian Foreign Diplomatic Service. The other thing is in 1996 we became outsourced a little bit. We became an own entity, and so we were able to do programs, master programs in cooperation with the University of Vienna and with the Technical University, not only for diplomats but also for international organizations, United Nations, the European Union, OECD, OPEC. These are all target organizations where our alumni can have jobs. So it's nowadays it's a broad, modern organization. If you have questions later on, I might try to be at the coffee break, but now I would like to give back the word.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker, would you prepare to answer questions now? Or
Yes, of course, if it's time.
Yes, would anybody like to ask anything?
How old are your students when they come?
They have to be graduate students, at least bachelor. We have about 170 students from 50 countries. Only one quarter is Austrian students, the rest is international, from nearly every continent.
As I actually looked on the Wikipedia page, and I think the ratio of students to academics is something like 2 to 1, and I think most British universities would expire if that were the case. Thank you very much.